Good morning.
Classic.
Hi.
All right. G'day, everyone. Welcome to Morning Startup. Woo! Come on. Yay. I've left my coffee somewhere. There it is. Hopefully that's
Mine's
mine.
over there. It's in the coffee.
Who hasn't been to Morning Startup before?
Well.
You. All right. We're gonna pick on you later.
All right.
So Morning Startup is run by us.
Yeah. So founders,
A couple of other people.
run by founders for founders. We have Scott. We have me, Aaron, and Dave. Dave is sort of like in the background, just like cheering.
Hasn't been for a
us on.
while. Yeah, gotta get him back in. But yeah, as Nina said, so we are startup founders, and we just like to get other startup founders in the same room as often as possible, put on an interesting speaker, learn something cool, and get to know each other, because that's the way we can all survive in this most isolated city in the world.
Yeah, and has it been 14 years that you guys have been running it?
14 years,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe 15.
Wow.
I'm losing count now, but anyway, welcome. Every 2 weeks, rain, hail or shine, this is on. As well as Founder Sundowner once a month, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, every first of the month.
But first of all, we'd like to know what you guys are up to. Shameless plugs and announcements. It's your chance to do a 30-second pitch, announcement, anything you like. We're live streaming this and make it known to the startup community in WA. Who wants to get going? All right, got a few hands. Cool.
I have an announcement. If you haven't heard, the WA Business News have opened their WA Business Awards. So they've got a section for startups, they've got micro business, and they've got small business. And if you're doing something that's not a side hustle, if you've got, if you're working in, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, here I'm leaning on this guy. Any business can join as long as you're in WA. So take a look. They run a really good program. And if you've ever been to the WA Business Awards Gala Dinner, it's a really fun night to see what's happening in WA. So just to let you know, I think the entries close, I want to say mid-September, but I will tell you from somebody that sponsored these awards and been involved with them for a long time, the key to success is getting an early start on your submission. Okay?
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah.
Only the last minute. We have a few more.
So we've got a different layout today because they had an event on last night, so we're all a bit squished on the sides. But we didn't have to put the chairs out, so it's all good.
Good. Hi, I'm Parul. I just wanted to actually extend an invitation to anyone who wants to talk about some challenges that are being faced by people in businesses today. For context, I have worked in the learning and development and people space for the last decade. So this is just an invitation for conversation. If anyone wants to connect and is open to talking about some of the stuff they've seen out in the market, some of the things you might be facing at the moment, please reach out, please connect, and I love coffee. So yeah, we'll make it happen.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kamal. I'm mechatronics engineer by background. I run a business called guyplus.com where hire a human, not just a machine. I connect machine and human together. If you are keen on machines, if you are mechatronics engineering background, please feel free to connect with me. Thank you.
Okay. Any mechatronics in the audience?
So
I know
fun.
one.
All right, do we have anyone else? Oh, yes.
My name is Sebastian. Good morning, everyone. And I work with behavioral change. I find the friction inside of people, mainly founders and their teams, to make sure that we can turn that resistance that they have to creating the actions they want into more of a pull motion so they don't have to force themselves or repeatedly tell their employees what to do. And I just created this founder audit, which is basically about me finding the actual cause and value of your reasoning to find the bottleneck within yourself. And if you want to change that bottleneck into more of a opportunity for yourself, let's have a chat.
Okay.
Sort of like a
Fantastic.
professional vibe
Yeah.
thing going on. Anyone else?
No more shameless plugs?
Actually, there is one for me. Oh my god.
All right.
I don't have a microphone. What? I actually have a gallery installation at TAFE in Northbridge. And basically I have these two butterflies that I powered with AI. And people come and they chat to it. And at the end of every day, we have sort of a summary and what's happening. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how people react to it. Because I've had this in different places. And people always get really passionate about AI. Anyway.
Cool. So when's that happening?
Oh yeah, that. So next week, like from Monday to Friday, and it's going to be from 12 to 6. So you can just pop in whenever.
6. Whereabouts?
At TAFE in Northbridge.
TAFE Northbridge. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good luck with it. Excellent. Any more shameless plugs? What about the new guy? No? All right. Fine. I think this is still going, so Meshpoints are looking for your feedback. So scan the QR code, and if you can spend 7 minutes filling out a survey, that'd be great, on how what WA needs for the ecosystem here for startups and innovation.
And
so,
you might get $100, which is good. You know?
yeah, who doesn't need $100? I don't see any phones saying, "Come on, fill out this." Oh, have you already done it? You've done it already. Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Found a sundowner?
Yeah, other side of nowhere, West Leaderville. I advise you to just like type it into the maps. But it is pretty cool. Like every first of the month, we do gather there, and we have pizza, and it's really fun because it's like more casual, and people get beers and just chill, and we talk about everything startup.
Whatever you like. Yep. Oh, we're also going to have like 30 minutes of networking after the talk today. So yeah, get to know each other, and that's what this is all about, really, just to meet everyone else in the ecosystem. So cool. Who likes live streams? Brilliant. You can check out this one at perthvideo.com.au/morningstartupperth with hyphens. So this is being brought to you by the fine folks at Perth Video. If you need live streaming for any event, definitely check them out.
Also, Perth Video does interviews. They film all kinds of segments for you, and especially in the age of AI, this is so important to have authentic videos.
Actual stuff.
It's great.
Real people. And they're getting paid now, which is awesome, by the Department of Energy and Economic Diversification. So thank you very much to the state government for helping us with the live stream. If you need money for your startup, check out their NIF program, the New Industries Fund. I think they've changed the name slightly.
Yeah.
But they've got grant funding, so like $40,000 or so if you're in the idea stage or scaling up, you can get the $200,000 commercialisation bridge grant. There's a whole load of programs like the Innovators of the Year. So yeah, there's a lot you can get involved with. Go and check them out if you're new to the ecosystem. All right, we got a few people we want to thank because running all of this, we've got some food at the back, we've got some coffees going on. We're not paying for it out of our own pockets every single day. But Purpose Ventures are.
Yeah, thanks to Purpose Ventures we get coffee, and that's really, really nice. They also, every once in a while, will give us, they will come here and give us talks about how to actually get funded by Purpose Ventures, which, I mean, coffee is great, but, you know.
Yeah, that's right. VC funding's even better. So, yeah, if you are in that space where you need to scale up your company and get some funding, then definitely make sure you're pitching to Derek and Kylie and the guys at Purpose. They're awesome. We've also got, is Glenn here? No, I haven't seen Glenn. But Beecham Group, they're a boutique recruitment company. If you need talent for your organisation or you have talent and you want to get a gig, then check out Beecham Group. They're best in town for connecting you with awesome companies.
And it's really, really important to find the right people, and I think Beecham Group really will help, because right now it's extremely hard to find, people.
Is anyone hiring at the moment? Yeah? Are you finding it easy, hard, difficult? Difficult? Yeah.
Beecham.
Yeah. All right. Get around it. Typeset. So yes, we have food at the back, and Typeset is helping us feed you every second week. Thank you very much you heard from Sarah just before. And you mentioned that it's putting in applications for the programs coming up through Startup News and whatnot. If you need help with that, that's exactly what they do. They can help communicate your idea, your problem, your startup better than you can. You better believe it.
Yeah, like I just saw a TikTok, and it was all about like, oh my god, like everything now looks like Claude. All the visuals are looking like Claude. Everything that's written, the copy is Claude. And they were saying like all these big influencers, everyone just is the same right now. And they were really stressed about like what's going to happen in 3 months from now with creativity. And I think Typeset will definitely help you sort of hone in on the actual creativity. Like Claude is great, but it can only get you so far. And you will never be distinct or authentic. You need Typeset to sort of polish your vision and then present it to people
Exactly. Yeah, the full like.
Win an award if
Yeah.
you use AI because everybody is using AI, and
This is
but
live
just
thing.
you won't win an award if you use AI to write your submission because everybody's doing that. So use that as your first pass, but then you really do need to polish it, and we can help. But there's lots of people out there. But I'm just as general advice, AI is great. But when you're up against 100 or 150 different companies all trying to prove that they're the best, an AI written award won't do it for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Typeset, for helping us out with the food. And Idea to Life. Woo! So we've got a physical product in the room, which is great. Is anyone else doing physical products? Mechatronics, all that stuff? Yeah? Cool. Idea to Life. We've got Zach over in the corner there. Hi, Zach. Do you want to give a short pitch about what Idea to Life is all about now that you're here in the room and put you on the spot?
Yeah. Idea to Life is here for all entrepreneurs, founders, doing physical products, doing real world products, especially mechanical in nature. So it's a younger company itself, but it's backed by Adash Australia, which has been in the manufacturing and engineering business for 30 years. So it's all about actually taking that idea or that prototype that you've made yourself through to refinements, manufacturing drawings, and then actually getting manufactured so you can sell it to people.
Perfect. Better than I could do. Awesome. So yeah, industrial design, prototyping, all the things you need for getting a physical product out there. Check out Idea to Life. If you didn't know about it before, now you do. Thanks for helping us out with the food.
Thank you.
Look at that brand new logo. That's so colourful and nice. I love it. So Space Cubed, if you didn't know, they own this place. This is called Riff. They've also got Flux and Fern down the road. If you need somewhere to work, it's the best place to do it. Make sure you subscribe to Startup News. Make sure you're a member of Startup WA. And check out the Plus 8 Accelerator if you want to become a...
They always have some kind of a cool program that will accelerate your business. So it's really good to keep an eye on Space Cubed.
And scan that QR code or just go to wainnovationecosystem.info and they've got a little Copilot AI chatbot where you can connect, just say, I'm in ag tech or whatever, and it will connect you to the right program in WA to help you out. There's a whole load of programs that you may not be aware of that can actually either give you funding or advice and connect you to the right people. So make sure you're around it.
Get in touch. We have a website, we have an email, we have a Slack channel. So we're trying to get the engagement up with Slack, but really, I think we're really trying to be on socials and everywhere to sort of help everyone and us as well.
I've got a bit of foreshadowing here. Apparently, pace of building a business that outgrows you right in the middle because I'm not very good at keynote. But we got where's Jesse? I just saw him. There he is. How you doing, Jesse? You're going to be here in 2 weeks' time. Woo! Talking about building a business that outgrows you, or building a legacy business. So you run a company called Keep Space. You've got warehouses here in Perth and in Melbourne, and you've been building this for 10 years, a long time. But you're going to be talking about building culture in your organisation and all of that sort of good stuff, right? Cool.
Yes, I won't share any details.
All right. So come along in 2 weeks' time. That's going to be... Jesse's spoken here quite a few times, so you go to the Perth video, Morningstar Perth thing, and you'll see some of his previous talks. They're always awesome. They're always truthful, candid, passionate. So, yeah, it's going to be a great event. Come along. Boom. All right. This might need an explainer. I've felt that some people don't get it immediately.
Yes, explain your jokes, please.
There are 4 maladies there, 4 of them, and that is our formalities out of the way.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, good. Cool. Now that
great.
you all
I love
understand. All right, that's enough from us. You're all here today because we've got an amazing presenter. I've checked out his YouTube content, and it is crazy good. And he's made this... Look at this.
It's very epic.
Madness, a self-playing guitar. In the startup space, we're always going speak to your customers, make sure you work out a real problem that exists and all of that stuff. But I don't know if I've ever gone, I'd really need a self-playing guitar.
I mean,
So building a business out of this, I'm really interested to hear how it goes. Anyway, please make him welcome Michael Kuzma from Kuzma Self-Playing Guitars.
We'll put that one there.
Do you want me to turn it on?
Yes, I would love a clicker. If we got one. If not, I can.
You continue on. I'll scramble a clicker.
Should we turn it on? The mic?
And
No?
how do I? 2 seconds. We'll be through here.
Oh, sorry.
How do I make this?
This is professionalism at its best, isn't it?
Do you need the mic on or off? For the
Whatever that guy needs to, but it's fine. Don't worry about it.
On? No.
Sweet. All right. Well, that right there is a Kuzma self-playing guitar, artist number 4. Behind me, I have artist number 2 in New York City, artist number 7 in San Francisco. I have artist number 3 in Cyprus in the Mediterranean. Here is a Kuzma self-playing guitar performing with 15 mermaids, all performing various instruments with this guitar. Here is artist number 1 performing in an Australian helicopter, airborne, playing the Mission Impossible theme. This is that Kuzma self-playing guitar performing with a human playing Radiohead's Creep. This human's in captivity, and it's performing to just robots. So anyway, I share with you what the self-playing guitar has done in the past, and real quickly I'm going to show you what a self-playing guitar can do right now. So you're going to hear the same riff over and over again. It's going to keep doubling the speed, and by the end of it, it'll be playing faster than any human. If you could play faster, you can have the guitar with human hands. And then we'll double the speed. Double again. One more time. All right, that's max speed. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, I share with you all these things just so you can visualize what a self-playing guitar is. Because 8 years ago, if you looked up self-playing guitar, there's not really anything worthwhile that comes up. Robotic guitar, automated guitar, any of it. Self-playing pianos have existed for the 1800s, but for the world's most popular instrument, nothing really, like there were projects. I'm definitely not the first one who's attempted this, but not anything that's really, really dived into it. And I will stress that I am not a business expert in the slightest. This is not a grow scale exit business. I enjoy it too much. Now, I have found customers. I have found that I can work on the things that I enjoy every day, and I've been able to do it at my own pace. So ultimately, this is creating a product without a category, and I'm going to start by just kind of giving you the high-level motivation for why I dove into this. I'll go in a little bit on the journey, and then I'll do a deep dive on the current business model, and then we can kind of just take it from there. So the first thing, or the main pillar for why I'm doing this today, ultimately is just the guitar itself. I've played the guitar my whole life, from Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the 3rd grade to studying flamenco in Granada, Spain, to learn flamenco where it originated. The guitar has been a presence in my whole life, and if I'm going to work on something all the time, I hope that the guitar is going to be involved. The other main pillar, I'm going to call it creativity. So in high school, I ended up making a fake water polo team. All we did was wear t-shirts. Everyone believed we played water polo, but I've never played water polo in my life. And when you saw trophies or you saw newspaper articles and you saw coaches and all the things that make a water polo team without actually playing, Anyway, I'll just call that creativity, and in whatever form that looks like, I hope that's involved in my day-to-day. The last thing I'm going to call culture is the main thing I want to be working on all the time. And recently I went to Valencia, Spain, and there they celebrate this festival called Las Fallas. They build these giant papier-mâché structures. They work on them all year, and they're building size. Hundreds of thousands of people participate. And at the end of the festival, they just burn them. And from the outside, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And that's okay. That's their culture. That's their thing. They love that. So I want to be working with people who are just as excited about the things that they're doing just as much as I'm excited about what I'm doing. So ultimately, I would love to work on those things every single day, but you got to do it sustainably. So out of school, I got a job working on self-driving vehicles with a company called Hexagon. And for them, I'm making the hands and feet of an operator in a vehicle, essentially what turns your steering wheel, what pushes the brake pedal for a vehicle that doesn't have the features to drive itself. And so ultimately, Hexagon, we have a great working relationship. They bought a guitar, and it allows me to pursue this at my own pace and allows me to do this sustainably, where I can work on these 3 things each and every day, and I'm not stressed about all the things that I don't really care about, to be honest. So anyway, Hexagon sent me here 5 years ago before I could put Perth on a map, and I guess I've been here ever since. When I got here, this self-playing guitar does not look like what you see here today. It was a much, way, way worse version. But I had it with me when I got here. I didn't really know anyone. So I just started doing the coolest things I could think of with this technology. So one of the things I did is I took this guitar to Christmas Island. For those that aren't aware about the red crab migration there's 50 million red crabs. They live in the forest, and they all march to the beaches after a full moon and a big rain. And they do this crab dance. It's one of the most amazing natural spectacles the world has to offer. And this guitar was in the middle of it, playing Carol of the Bells on Christmas Island. Another thing I did is I went to New Zealand, and I started playing Lord of the Rings music in the whole country. I rented a horse sanctuary for a day. I convinced a coworker to join me who reluctantly dressed up as a hobbit. And that was pretty fun. And then another thing I did is I started busking as a street musician in downtown Perth. I still do that right now, whether it be I'm jamming with it, someone else comes in and sings with it. It's a ton of fun. That was just an experiment at the start. Now it's a pretty regular thing. But anyway, a video got taken at one of these events, and it went viral. So anyway, that video got 17 million views, and that was about 2.5 years ago. And this is the first time anyone really outside of anyone I personally interacted with has seen this technology. So I went from like 2 inquiries on my website in a week to 350 plus. And I had so much traffic that I had no idea what to do with it. And I fluffed so many opportunities, and that's okay. You know, I'm here to learn. But I did land some things. I managed to get a conversation and a private demonstration for Amazon's Jeff Bezos. And then I met this guy. He's a samurai guitarist on YouTube. He's a pretty famous YouTuber, and he essentially recorded himself playing a song, and then we put it on the robot, and he jammed with himself, and that was fun. A few sales happened along the way, and I mean, ultimately, I'm just stumbling and fumbling my way through until now I'm at a point where I have a business model where I can work on my favorite things all the time. I can do it at a small scale sustainably. I can make something that I find beautiful, and I can find people that are willing to pay for it. So now, if you look up self-playing guitar, I'm the first thing that comes up. This is not the most popular search term, and that's okay. Because ultimately, I'm making art. It's something that's unique. It's not a self-playing guitar. It's exclusive, it's personal, it's authentic. And once again, just by stumbling my way through and just winging it every time and trying new things every time, now I kind of figured out, what do I like to do? And now it's kind of turned into this artist's experience. Now, because it exists, I've made every portion of this technology here. Now I can slightly tweak it. I can adapt it. I can make it custom for someone who may want it. If they want a particular song that's meaningful to them, let's put it on there. If they want a different color, if they want a specific guitar, if they want to brand it, yeah, all the hard work has been done already. So I can make something that's specific to them, and I'm not tied to model numbers. Ultimately, someone just gets the best version of this self-playing guitar that exists at that point in time. Additionally, outside of the customization of the product itself, all of them are hand-delivered. I love to travel. I love meeting all the different customers and the people who think it's cool. And ultimately I get to meet the customer, and I can interact with them, and I can find out what they like and who they are, and it provides me the opportunity for them to know that I'm just a person. And if, God forbid, something goes wrong, then ultimately they're not working with some big giant conglomerate brand. They're just working with a person. And this person likely cares about their guitar more than they do. So outside of the hand delivery, I also commemorate everything on location. And all that means is custom videography, photography of their artist playing in their favorite locations, playing their favorite music. Every single time I'm trying something different. But ultimately, even if a customer doesn't care about it, I do it anyway. It's all my marketing material. And when I arrive at their doorstep and I deliver this and, oh, here's a framed photo of your guitar in front of whatever, that really drives it home that you're not just buying a random doodad piece of technology. Like, this is something that took a significant amount of effort. And now, ultimately, this is time consuming, this is expensive, and there's not going to be a lot of people that really want what I'm offering. Now, there are people that do exist that would buy such a thing, but ultimately those are probably the busiest people on the planet. And how do I get in contact with the people who are the busiest on the planet? And I mean, oftentimes I'm interacting with an assistant, or I'm interacting with a proxy to the actual buyer before I interact with them themselves. So here's how I've gone about it so far. It starts with the 3-second impression, social media video. Ultimately, I found that a lot of my social media traffic has been driven by hate. And ultimately, this is like the physical manifestation of all the fears of AI right in front of them. They view it as I'm replacing all guitar players. And obviously, that's not the goal whatsoever. But ultimately, I might egg them on a little bit, but the hate that's provided there, it drives traffic and it shows it to people who actually do appreciate it. Outside of that, every single one of these guitars, if you see it, you can visualize it. And if I have a couple guitars that are kind of in public or at events, and I get leads through that. And then additionally, just like personal networking, I'm obviously pretty excited about it. So if other people catch on to that excitement, then that leads to things too. So once they go from this 3-second lead, then they come into my curated little space, my museum. If they end up at selfplayingguitars.com because they think they want to learn a little bit more, this essentially just ignores all the traditional social media. There are no views, there are no likes, there's no comments, there's none of that stuff that I don't really want to prioritize. When I met the Samurai guitarist guy, he does excellent work providing YouTube videos every single week. But to be honest, he's employed by that algorithm. And he has to make that content every single week. And if he's not providing that content, his traffic goes to nothing, even at 1 million+ subscribers and followers. So ultimately, here, it's the art and the art alone. And that's all that the focus is here. Every single guitar that's been delivered, there's an individual page telling the story of how it happened. There's all these crazy videos that are pretty absurd. And it's just things that excite me and that I find fun, and they always start as little seedling ideas, and then they just balloon into this absurdity. I have an origin story that's there, and all that's meant to be, I spent 9 months making it. It's just meant to be in 15 minutes. You can decide if you want to work with me or not, is essentially the goal of that video. So if they end up spending time on that website, my little museum, then that leads them further on in the chain, and ultimately from there I'm just trying to drive into a one-on-one human conversation. And usually people who reach out, they know exactly what they want, or they just know it's cool and they want to be involved. And from there, if we have a conversation and we both agree that, hey, maybe a Kuzma self-playing guitar makes sense in this situation, then based on the conversations, they'll get a very custom offer. It might be 20 pages, it might be more. And ultimately, because no one really knows what a self-playing guitar is, I can just kind of throw out some options that are things that I want to make, or things that push this technology forward. So then ultimately, at the end of this whole process, it might be 6 months, might be a year, depends on whatever the waiting list is at the time. We arrive at their home, drop it off, and then I get to interact and meet and get feedback from some of the most busiest people on the planet. And what's interesting is one of the latest deliveries I did, I gave them 3 offers. He picked the top offer, and whoa, through the roof, the most expensive guitar I've made to date, the most involved. But ultimately, after a few of these success stories, it is getting easier. And at the end of it, just having that conversation, hey, what would you change about it? You know, any feedback or anything you change about it. He said, hey, tweak this one little thing and then triple your price. I'm like, okay, wow. Ultimately, I am providing something that's very, very unique. I'm not providing it for many people, and ultimately every sale is just a learning opportunity, and it's not financially motivated. So ultimately, wherever it ends up going. Anyway, I just share that as just, hey, I'm learning along the way. Where's this going from here? Ultimately, most of my time these days is just spent making the newest version of the Kuzma self-playing guitar with soul. And if someone wants to ask about the technical specifics, I can talk about that afterwards. But ultimately, my definition for success of what that looks like is I can record the music that this is playing, put in my earphones, go for a run. And if I'm lost in the music and thinking about the music, I'm not thinking about how miserable this run is, then that's success enough for me. And I'm proud of the music that this makes, but as a guitar player first, I wouldn't quite define it as beautiful yet. Much like a real musician, it's learning, and like you can play chords and you can play songs fairly quickly with a little bit of practice, but ultimately to get to that mastery level to something that is truly, genuinely unique and beautiful, that takes time. Outside of that, I'm going to do more of these art-focused collaborations, whether it's throwing a guitar out of an airplane, playing Tom Petty's Free Fallin', or whatever crazy, ludicrous thing comes up next. I'll probably make some appearances to try to cut off those 3-second impressions a little bit and get more direct in front of people who might want something like this, the Monaco Yacht Show, some event like that. And then I might start delegating some of the things I don't particularly enjoy. Maybe bring someone in part-time and focus on the sales and have a high commission, or I have so much footage I haven't even touched at this point. Maybe a student to work on some social media short-form stuff. I love the long-form stuff, but some of the short-term, it's not my thing. But it doesn't mean it can't be for someone else. So yeah, that's a little bit about how I've gone about making this contraption without a real category before I started. Really from here, I'll take it to whatever questions anyone has. If they I know someone requested on LinkedIn, Blackbird, I can play that. But anyway, whatever you're feeling, I'll let you guys take it from here. Thanks.
I imagine we'll have a lot of questions. Hopefully this works.
Hi.
Does the guitar tune itself as well?
Not exactly. There is something, I won't pull it out. There's something called a Rode Auto Tuner, which I'll provide to every guitar. It makes it way easier. There is something called Tronical Tune that exists where you can attach it to the back and it tunes it automatically. They're not very good. So I think ultimately one of those stretch goals that's not on the top of my list would be to add that feature in. Definitely something that's in the realm of possibility, but I wouldn't say it's in my 1 year or 2 year roadmap here.
Okay, well.
Good question.
You touched on pricing, and I'm just really curious how you come up with pricing, because it sounds like you're not going to make any money if it's based on the hours that you put into it. You've already had advice that you're way underpriced. So could you just talk us through that? Because I think for founders, setting pricing is really difficult.
Sure. So I think ultimately it's just for me, it's just a matter of comparison. So the first one, it was, hey, I think it's going to cost me this amount of money to make it. Let's double it. That would be crazy. And that was the first one that got priced. And then from there, when I realized I spent all that money before I delivered it, then I'm like, okay, well, that probably wasn't the right move. Let me bump it up a little bit to make it, I can do this a little more cheaper. And, I have my newest metric that I think it is. And then obviously, like, if I mess one up, it doesn't ruin everything, which is a nice luxury that I have. And like, hey, how many people am I targeting a year? We'll say 5. So ultimately, how it's been so far is every single one has just been a little more than the previous. And also every single one that I'm delivering has more involved. And I was going to test out the app, but it's not like in the area in here today. But, it's like the next one here is probably going to have an app involved. It might be in metal. It might be. So the product keeps improving. And with that, the price reflects that. And ultimately, like, I'm almost developing a product line. So I have, hey, this is what I've done in the past, and I can sell it for this price. And now I can compare, all right, well, what if I add these soul features? Like, all right, well, that's something that's a very premium add-on that can be just put on the existing product. So for me, it's just been comparison, ultimately. And every time I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, luckily, like I said, I still have a pretty flexible full-time job. So it's not like I don't have to meet employee. I have a couple interns on the weekend, but outside of that, I don't have too many fixed costs that are burning me each and every day. I can fund this on my own if I have to. So yeah, I don't know if I'm giving the best advice on pricing, but that's how I've approached it.
So how do you go about going from the idea to actually make it? Do you make everything yourself, or do you work with parties that make it for you now? Like, I'm really curious how you come to...
Sure. Everything at least started with me making it myself. I have like 10 3D printers in my household. So everything is originated in that starting point. And then once I get an understanding of here's what this process looks like now my circuit boards are made before they arrive at my doorstep, but I know how they're made, so therefore if there's something wrong with the quality, then I can check on that. So, I mean, ultimately, it didn't start as I'm going to make a business. It's just started as, hey, I want to learn electrical engineering, and I don't really see any good self-playing guitars as a guitar player, so let me just learn. And it's kind of persisted in that way. Even now, I'm migrating everything to metal, and it's just still the same process of, all right, well, I'm going to figure it out myself. Someone convinced me not to make my own CNC shop, which I'm thankful that they did. But yeah, I guess everything I started making myself, and then when I realized, oh, these wire harnesses, they're taking 24 hours to make. That's insane. So then, all right, well, how about, this guy, he can do it in 8 hours. All right, we'll bring him in for this build. But if I have to, I can make it myself. So it just depends on, I had one point where I was making 3 guitars at the same time, and I was pretty stressed out of my mind. But yeah, that's how I'm going to answer that one, I guess.
2 questions. Can you throw any guitar in that, or does it need a specific guitar? But also, have you thought about guitar vendors like Fender and Gibson and PRS and a testing angle? Could they use it to test their guitars and things?
Yes, I've had people reach out, and to be honest, I don't really market myself a whole lot, so it's kind of just been what falls in my lap is usually where the next thing is, and it's usually the coolest opportunity above whatever I would have been doing on my own anyway. So I think that's a very realistic possibility it'll go that anyway. I've had some startup tools reach out to me as far as, hey, we're making this new product and we want to ensure that we have the same precise sound every single time while we validate this product. We would love to have one, but ultimately sometimes the budgets don't align to make those things happen yet. But I think that's a very real possibility. I could see just representing a brand at NAMM and just being the coolest thing in the show. So I think that's, definitely realm of the possibility. First question was different guitars, any guitar. That's any song, any guitar, anywhere is the tagline. Any guitar, there's so many different types of guitars. So I don't know, it's any guitar eventually. I know the next version that I'm making currently, it's going to support classical guitars, and everything is calibratable. And it's just essentially, all right, here's the certain variables that I'm accounting for, whether it be the differences between the strings or the action height, or there's so many different variables to account for. I'm probably accounting for 90% of them. I'm sure if you throw a ukulele-sized guitar at me, I'd probably say, hey, we can do it, but it's going to be a little bit of time and effort to pull that one off. But the nice part about everything being custom is ultimately if someone wants to pay for it, then I'm likely the only person on the planet that can pull that one off and have a good outcome on the other side. I think there's plenty of people that have the abilities to do what I'm doing, but yeah, I don't know, 12,000 hours in at this point.
Wait, we do have microphone. Is there a microphone?
How about patent in China?
Patents in China? Yes. I have 2 patents with it, and they're based in USA. And to be honest, if someone else does this, good for them. I'm so deep in this, and I'm so focused. No one is going to, I don't think so, maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I don't think anyone is going to be stupid enough to just hand deliver them all for the existence of the product and make every single one completely different. If someone does end up mass producing a self-playing guitar, then someone can buy that. But if someone wants something that is genuinely theirs and totally unique and exactly whatever their vision. Some big mass manufacturer won't be able to support that. So I'll just fit into my niche of making the incredibly custom and elaborate and ridiculous stuff. And patents are important, but I think that's probably more of a scale focus question. And like I said, I have 2 of them, but I usually get it's one of those activities I get angry doing, and it takes away from my culture guitar and that stuff. So, but yeah, and I do order parts from China, and I just don't give all my designs to the same group, essentially, as I'm making parts from them. So.
It's kind of 2 questions. First, how easy is it to customize the different sounds that it can make, like the different songs and stuff? Because I was like, this is a great thing to wake up to, right? A new song every morning. And then secondly, what do you think is the appeal of this to your users?
Sure. All right, first question. The second one was more recent. I'll probably have to get you to repeat the first question at the end. What is most appealing to the current users? It varies from person to person. Like, I've had a person, they named their first kid Hendrix, and they're just a guitar fanatic, and they're like, hey, I can't play guitar. I don't have time to play guitar. That's not my thing. But ultimately, if I could hear that every day and actually hear a live, authentic instrument, then I would love to have that. Another person, he had a self-playing piano and a self-playing violin, and he's like, hey, I want to read to guitar music. I would love to do that, and it just sits in his library. Another one, it's a business, and essentially it's mining, and mining is boring. So then they do automation. This is the most visual form of automation that can immediately make an emotional connection from someone. So ultimately, at a trade show or something like that, it disarms them. And instead of, hey, let me sell you this really cool mining product that I have, it's, hey, you want to pick a song? And then it cools them off. And, oh, by the way, this is kind of an example of what we do here. This is obviously, we don't sell this product, but we do other automation things. And so that's another example. Trying to think of the few others. The other one, just a technology founder, tried to make one himself, and so successful at the other businesses, has no time, and he's just, I just love to have one in my room, hook it up to my home assistant. That would be for just a big nerd. So yeah, I don't know, those are a few that are coming to mind. But I get all kinds. I've had cruise liners reach out. I've had airports reach out. If you imagine anywhere where there's a self-playing piano, I've had Grammy-winning music artists reach out. But like I said, when I had so much traffic, I didn't know what to do with it, and I probably fluffed a lot of those opportunities. And then the virality has died down. But anyway, I know that if I devote time to it, then like you can make it reappear with a bunch of effort. But when I'm ready for it.
There was the first question?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember the first question.
Like, how easy is it to program a new song? Like, if you're a DJ or someone just like, I know how to write music. I want to write my own song, but this will play it. How easy is it for you to, or them to do it?
I haven't had a customer that's currently been interested in doing it themselves, and it wouldn't be hard. But right now it's just like I have remote connectivity to it, and if they want a song, just, hey, let me know, and then I drop it on their machine remotely. And ultimately, if I have the sheet music, then eventually I can play it, and I pay for the licensing, and it just pops in on their machine. So no, not that hard. Afterwards, if you want to know more, I can dive into the specifics. But yeah.
I'm very inspired by this technology. It's making me think of Harry Potter and just like balls where the instruments are playing on their own. And
I really wish I had the Hogwarts theme right now.
Oh, I feel like you could make a killing right there, especially if you get in touch with Warner Bros. Or something. I love how unassuming this product is, and as you said, 12,000 hours is really impressive. But for you, it came out of love and passion, right? What came first for you, confidence or customers?
Well, customers didn't come till I had like one rental for like $200 right before I left for like finish college, and I was like through the roof excited about it. So definitely not customers. That didn't really start till like the last 2.5 years. Confidence, I don't know. To be honest, a lot of that confidence was built from lying to people in that water polo team. Like, it's just like selling a vision and just closing down loopholes and realizing like, hey, like we can have fun and we can make things happen. just if you put your mind to it. And so I think, yeah, and that made me realize too, it's like I just want a project that I can devote all this like energy to. And yeah, I just found this and latched, and now I'm just a leech to it. So yeah.
Do we have any more? Oh, we do.
And are there any specific tech issues that you encountered along the way that you feel most impressive, either like hardware side or software side?
Technology issues that I've encountered along the way.
That really troubles you, like maybe
Like today or in the past?
Along the way
Along
that
the way.
you build these products.
Yeah, I guess ultimately the making decisions when you have nothing to compare to is always the hardest. Like if you have one that sucks, at least you can be like, okay, this one was marginally better than the previous one, and you can just work your way up from there. I think ultimately it was, hey, I got it playing music. Whoa, that's crazy. It played Stairway to Heaven. No way. But ultimately, all I was hearing was clank, bang, but I wasn't hearing Stairway to Heaven. I was hearing the mechanical noises. So it took me about 2.5 years to make it play music, and it took me another like more than double that to make it play quietly, where all you do is hear the music. And ultimately, even now, like I'll hear every imperfection in it to date. I'll be its biggest critic. I'm aware of what it is, but you know, it's like, I guess the other part with it, like every time I eliminate a new source of noise, then the next loudest one is just at the forefront. But you didn't even realize it was there until you eliminated the most loud one. So there's still a few that exist, but it's good enough, unless you're in like a carpetless room, a 2x2 box, like it's good enough for at least what I'm doing today. And obviously every day it's going to get better.
This looks like a passion project with a business tacked on. And what I'm hearing is the passion behind it and the motivation to produce something incredible. I have a more personal question. Is there anything the guitar has played where you felt it came close to having soul? Like, as if it's a human would be playing it?
I know the first time I heard it amplified, I wanted to cry, like in a big concert hall, because ultimately I didn't hear all those mechanical clanks and bangs because that doesn't get pushed through. And that was just in the comparison of listening to it in a dorm room, like, you know, just dealing with all the problems and banging your head against the wall. It's never going to play music, you know, like you turn it on, capacitor explodes or something like that. I think that ultimately that soul, ultimately I think along with the running thing, that eventual goal of soul is kind of that, it's a very nebulous idea, and there's not really a definition of I'm done. But ultimately, if I could play a Spanish song called Recuerdos de la Alhambra in front of this big castle called La Alhambra, and it can be at the quality level of, you know, Francisco Targa or one of those big artists that currently play it today, then that's like, boom, I'm happy, you know? And like, a lot of these crazy videos, a lot of them are just much like, I really wanted to do this, so I'm just going to make it happen. I'm going to develop the technology to do that. But by the end of that process, I'll have something that is way better than what I had before, and it just kind of steps it along. So not too many times where I'm like, it feels like, so every once in a while I'm like, okay, that's a catchy one. I really like that one. But it's always the new stuff. But I know in the future, that's kind of the driving motivation is I want it to just be like it captures me. It's not there yet, but I'm pretty critical of it.
Thanks for the demo. You said you are having, you will be hiring sales for future. So with the selling of it, what are you thinking of in the future? How would you sell it? Like, will you be selling it as a premium artist model, or maybe trying to rent it out in a rental model to music studios or something like that?
So I've done rentals, and they're more just kind of like if someone knows me. Like I don't really advertise it as a service. I've done like international events, and those I take more seriously. But I guess if I'm to bring someone on board part-time, it's not going to be like they're all end-all be-all, this is all their focus, because I don't want to, like I said, take away from those things that I enjoy most yet, or I don't think I have that capacity to support a full-time employee. But I think that's going to be more, it's going to be just, hey, here's the artist models. If you have the network and you think you can tap into that, tack on whatever commission you think sees fit, and let's make it happen. And then I don't necessarily have to stress about driving those videos out, and I can eliminate some of those things that I enjoy less, and kind of offset that to someone else who might be more passionate about that. So that's what I'm thinking, but I don't know, yeah.
Do we have one?
One more question?
One more question and then we're done. That was amazing.
Hey, how you doing? Good talk. Man, something that keeps coming to me the way you talk is you really come across like the Wozniak guy. But are you open to the concept of bringing on a jobs guy to join you? Because you're very creative, you're very inspired, it passions you to make this product, but you don't seem you really want to push the sales as hard. So would you bring to balance that out? Or is this going to be, as the other guy said, just a passion project and something you're going to love and just maybe sunset it when you're moving on to the next thing?
It's definitely a possibility if they're respectful of the things that I enjoy most. So I think I've had tons of people reach out as far as like, hey, let me invest in this. And it's like, I don't want to be like financially tied. Like if I want to drop this tomorrow, like the moment that someone invests $1 million, I'm now employed to them. And if I want to take 6 months and go take this guitar to Mongolia and have it play with throat singers or something, then I can't do that per se. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to bring someone in to focus on those things. And hey, if you can promise me 5 sales in a year, then like let's set a small bar and then we'll work our way from there and see where it goes. And it definitely wouldn't be like let's drop and change everything if I were to go that route. And I think it's just like, yeah, I worked with plenty of other people along this journey to make this happen. But it's just, yeah, they got to respect, like, I enjoy it. So if that means I never make a dime from it, that's okay. But I'm definitely open to the seeing where it goes in regards to what you've mentioned there. Thanks.
Hey, thank you so much, Michael. I mean, this is a one of one. I think you're a one of one. You can just see the passion and excitement coming out of you, and that, yeah, you are that founder energy that is required to make this successful. So well done. Wish you all the best. Hope it goes really well. Thanks. Another round of applause for Michael. Housekeeping, closing up. We're going to move all this stuff around and turn it back into a co-working space. But please, get up. Enjoy the food at the back. Thanks for Typeset and Ideas to Life. Get to know each other. Toilets are that way. Yeah, see you in 2 weeks.
Cheers. See you in 2 weeks.